Anna here, and today I'll be taking a look at a board game adaptation from IDW Games from a very popular anime, and that is going to be Dragon Ball Z Perfect Cell. In Dragon Ball Z Perfect Cell, you are going to be Goku and all of the other Z fighters, and you're going to try to defeat Cell, who is now in his Perfect Cell form. I'm first going to show you how we are going to defeat Cell, and then I'm going to tell you if this is a good Dragon Ball Z game and if I had any fun. In Dragon Ball Z Perfect Cell, you are going to try to defeat the evil Cell, which has gotten to his Perfect Cell form. The game can end in 3 ways. 1, the Z fighters defeat him and get his health down to 0. 2, we run out of threat tiles and we did not defeat Cell and Cell wins, or Cell KOs all of the Z fighters and we also lose the game. So how are we going to play Dragon Ball Z Perfect Cell? At the beginning of the game, every player is going to choose a character that he or she wants to play, and you are going to check how much health you got and that's the amount of senzu beans that you're going to take. Every character has his own special power. So we got Vegeta, he starts with an Kamehameha upgrade. And we have Krillin, he can purchase upgrades for 1 less. And everyone, just like that, has his own special power. As soon as everyone has picked his or her Z fighters to fight with, we are going to start the game. And every round is going to go in the same way. You are going to be putting down threat tiles. This is the bad stuff that Cell is going to do. You are going to be putting down as many threat tiles as you have players. So for now we put down 3 as if it were a 3-player game. Then every player is going to do his or her turn, and this is going to be most of what you're going to do. If it is your turn, you are going to be throwing your dice, and every die is going to be able to do something different. First of all, we have the Dragon Ball and the hand, and I'm just going to show you these because with these you can heal. So if you use the hand and the Dragon Ball, with these you can heal. Something extra that you can do with the Dragon Ball, that is going to be collecting Dragon Ball tokens. So you can choose to heal or to get a Dragon Ball token, and with these Dragon Ball tokens you are going to get an extra symbol to do something like this one that I'm going to explain later, but that is attacking. But you can also get one like this, or this dragon, which is going to be a joker, which you can use for anything. That is a one-time only power that you're going to be able to do with those Dragon Ball tokens. Another thing that you are going to be able to do with these Dragon Balls, which you cannot do with the hand, is trying to fill up the Dragon Ball meter. If all of the players are very low on their health, you can try to fill up this Dragon Ball meter, and as soon as it fills up, and as you can see you have these spots here, and depending if you're playing with more or less players, you have to get more of these filled up. So with 2 you also have to fill up this one, and with 3 or 4 players you're also going to have to fill up these. And as soon as you do that, all of the players are going to go back to full health. So that is a way to get everyone back into the action. So that is everything that you can do with the Dragon Ball. Heal, collect Dragon Ball tokens, and fill that Dragon Ball meter to heal everyone up. Then I also already talked about the assists, which can also heal. But another thing that you can do with these is buying upgrades. And with these upgrades, you're going to be able to do new cool stuff. So as an example, we have this Kamehameha here, which needs 2 of those hand dice. And as soon as you get that one, you're going to be able to do 5 damage if you have these 2 dice and allocate them to these slots. You also have something like this light grenade, which is going to do your extra damage, and some other ones are just going to give you an extra power, like this, that is going to give you an extra reroll as soon as you have that one. You can always only have up to 2 upgrades, and when you then buy an upgrade, you have to switch it with one that you've already gotten. So that is buying upgrades with the assist. Another thing that you can do with the assist is giving, if you cannot really do anything with that die, you are going to be able to give it to the next player, and maybe that next player is going to be able to do something more interesting with that die, and he or she is also allowed to roll it again, and maybe something more interesting pops up. We're probably already wondering, Anna, how are we going to defeat Cell? And that is of course with attacking, and for that we have 2 different ones. We have this one, this is your basic attack, that's going to do 1 damage. And then we have this super attacks symbol, and those are going to do 2 damage. If you want to do damage, you are going to allocate those dice to these slots. And as you can see, there are numbers on these sides. And that means that you're going to get this bonus damage as soon as you allocate a dice to the rightmost spot. But you always have to start with filling up from the left. So if we would have done these 2 dice, we would be able to do 1 plus 2 is 3 damage. And because we also have a dice in that most right corner, we're going to have 1 bonus damage. So we're going to do 4 damage, which we're going to keep up with on this damage track. As I already told you guys, the butt stuff is the threat tiles that are here. And like I said, every round you're going to get new ones depending on the number of players. So it's not like you can have that there is a maximum to the amount of threat tiles. No, if you do not deal with them, there are just going to come more and more threats that Cell is going to do. But how are we going to get rid of those? So every threat tile has something negative, so for this one you cannot reroll those assists die. And for this one says Cell is immune to damage bonuses. Such a shame, so these ones does not count. And this one, which says regenerate, says that he is going to heal 3 damage. All of these powers are only going to resolve as soon as all of the players did their things, so did their throws and did their turns. So before that, you're going to try to dissolve, to get rid of these threat tiles. With this one's pretty clear. You have to put down a die with these 2 symbols. With this one, what they mean with this one is that you need 2 different dice. And we also have one, like, where are these? Here. Like this one, with those lines between them, and that means you need 3 of the same, but they can be random. So let's start with the thing that's probably the most important thing in deciding if you want this game or not, because this game is of course marketed towards those Dragon Ball Z people that watch the anime and are fans of the anime. And that is if the theme of Dragon Ball Z is incorporated enough into the game. Thematically, it looks very good. The artwork is very great. You have you have also like the sensu beans, which represent the HP counters, or how much HP you have left. So that makes sense. But in the end, it is a cooperative dice chucker, and the things that you are doing don't really make thematic sense. So if it is important for you that not only the theme is good, but also that it is incorporated into the gameplay, then this is probably not the Dragon Ball Z game you are looking for. If you want a game that you can play with anyone and it's pretty easy, and that non-gamers, maybe your friends that really like Dragon Ball Z, are going to be like, oh, I want to try that game, then this is a perfect game for you. For the most part, the theme is incorporated very well with the sensu beans, which represent HP, and little things like that. But there's one, maybe for some people, a little or a big flaw that I really have to show you guys, as we're still talking about the Dragon Ball Z universe, and that is the fact that Vegeta has a Kamehameha upgrade. And if you watch Dragon Ball Z, you know that Vegeta never learned Kamehameha in the original series. So that doesn't really make that much sense that Vegeta starts with that ability, and I really just had to point it out for you Dragon Ball Z fans out there. The gameplay really comes down to you trying to roll the dice that you need to defeat Cell and trying to get rid of those threat tiles, because those threat tiles just keep coming, because every round you're just going to get as many new ones as you have players. So you really have to make sure to get rid of them, because otherwise all the damage that you are doing, Cell is just going to heal right back up to those, and it was all for nothing. So you really have to try to get rid of those. Like I told earlier, it's just going to be a dice chucker. You're going to play it in 30 minutes, and it's just you're going to have fun. Is it really deep? No. Is it really needed in a game? I don't really think not. I think for the target audience, which is going to be a Dragon Ball Z fan, this is going to give you the depth that you wanted. I don't think, this kind of game is not really targeted towards the really heavy board gamers. So it makes sense that it's a pretty light game. The one thing that I didn't really like though was the fact that it did feel like it was too easy to win. At the beginning, you can always see the threat tiles that are going to come up, so you pretty much know what you're going to be able to ignore and what you really want to get rid of. And it doesn't really happen that something unexpected happens, because you can always plan accordingly, because they're going to come up at the beginning of the round, and then everyone is still going to do their turn. So you know what you're going to get rid of those threat tiles and what is going to happen because of the choices that you make. And because you can reroll the dice, and because if there's a die that you cannot really use with those assist die, you can just give them to the next player and they can roll again. It doesn't really happen that much that there is nothing you can do with your dice. You can always do something, so it didn't really feel like it mattered really what you were throwing, because you could always do something with them. And even if you could not really attack them, you could buy new of those upgrade cards and get in the next round attack accordingly. So I would really see this game, just like I already said, as a light chucker, like light dice chucker cooperatively. Maybe a game with which you're going to be able to introduce friends that like Dragon Ball Z into cooperative games, or just a game that you're going to be able to play with young ones that really love Dragon Ball Z, and to get them a little bit more into playing board games. It's not a bad game per se, it's just a little bit bland gameplay wise, and it's just not that exciting. But I think if you really like Dragon Ball Z, you are going to have fun with this game. The theme shines through nicely, the components are great, and I think that really wraps up my opinion of Dragon Ball Z.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at dicetower.com.